uh, concluding the session. So with that, we go on to our next session with Miss Esther Kezia, who's from MRD Department, CMC Vellore. Madam would be taking the session on staffing and training of the MR, Medical Records team. Madam is basically senior selection grade tutor in the Medical Records Department, CMC Vellore, with MA in English Literature from Madras University and Bachelor's of Medical Records Science from CMC. Ms. Esther has been working in CMC since 1993. Started off her career with as a medical records librarian and proceeded on to taking charge of the outpatient and inpatient services in the medical records department, and has played an important role in conversion of paper-based medical records to the electronic medical records at CMC, and now working as senior selection grade tutor in medical records department, where she's involved with the teaching of medical records management, medical terminologies to the students and also to the students of BSc Medical Records Science and Allied Health courses. And she's involved in teaching and giving orientation of the department to visitors and students from other institutions. So over to you, madam. Welcome, and please carry on with your session on staffing and training of MRT. Thank
you. I'm Kezia from Medical Records CMC. Last person on Saturday evening is the worst thing anybody can think of, but let me make it short. See, the medical superintendent. Below that comes the head of the department. We are tutors. We take care of students and interns. And supervisors take care of the OP and IP section, medical record librarians, medical record technicians, and housekeeping staff, duty roster, and leave and grievances and everything. And then we have the flow managers, patient coordinators, and outpatient services and outpatient clinics. So these flow managers take care of all the activities of the outpatient services, and they are the liaison officers between the doctors and the outpatient MROs and all outpatient activities. So I'm here to talk about the staffing and recruiting, how we do the recruitment. So there are two types of recruitment. One is we recruit MRTs who are already trained, and then we recruit people who we like to train. So recruitment of MRTs are medical record technologists, technicians. So these are graduates with diploma in medical record terminology. So when there's a need and when there's a budget, we advertise, and there's a committee that is formed, and then the application is scrutinized and examinations are held. So once we scrutinize the applications and select the candidates, we send mail to these candidates about the date and venue of the examination, what type of examination it's going to be. So these people assemble on that day on the examination hall, and then they write the exams. During that exam time, we tell them about when the results are out and what should be the next step. So once the results are out, the selected candidates are shortlisted, and it is put up on the notice board, and these people come and look at it, and then they are coming for the interview on the specified date. So once their interview, and we also check the certificates and other documents, which as requested for the post, and then the medical checkup is made, and then the final list of candidates are shortlisted, and they are called for the medical record technicians post. So medical record librarian is also similar to this. So they are graduates in medical record science. This is a 3-year degree course affiliated to the Medical MGR University, Chennai. So we are running the course for the past 60 years. From 1962, it started as a diploma, and then 1-year course, and then 2-year degree course. And now it's a 3-year degree course, which is affiliated to the Tamil Nadu MGR University. Previously, it was the Chennai University, Madras University. This is like any other allied health course students, and so we are not going in detail into that. We have the selection process as same as the MRTs. And then we have the training of MRTs when we want to have people to do the work, and also we train them and give them this medical record technician post. So classes are on medical record management. So that would cover all these lists that I've provided here: storage, retrieval, release of information, filing and numbering, indexes and registers, abstracting information. So when I say abstracting information, it can be birth and death informations and registry maintenance, legal aspects, what is privacy, what is confidentiality. So they know the basic of all this thing. They don't go too detailed into this like the BSc medical record science students. They are medical record technicians. They have to know the basics on all these things. So computing OP and IP statistics, scanning of the records, and basic medical terminologies like roots, prefixes and suffixes, musculoskeletals, integumentary. So the basic of all the system, they have to know, be aware of the medical terminology. So that is done. And then the medical record technicians are more of a practical training. So various sections of medical records and outpatient services, they are posted, and they practically get the knowledge of how the register records are moving, or how the IP records are moving, how it is generated, how it's completed. So they get a practical knowledge. So tests are conducted periodically to assess their knowledge on the areas they were posted and the topic that were taught. Orientation to trainees. So there are new trainees orientation, which will include activities which will introduce a trainee to the department's policies, procedures, rules, and culture. The tour of the department is when we do the orientation. So they will have no idea about what, IP is, what an OP is. So we have to tell them this outpatient, this inpatient record, these are separate. This is how the charts move from every area. This is how we generate the chart. So we make a tour of the department first, an overview of the job. What are the different types of job they'll be doing? What are the different kinds of work they'll be doing? What are the different work pattern? There's time spacing. There can be a continuous duty. There can be odd duty schedule, night duties. So these are discussed even during the interview time. So especially when there are ladies who come in for medical recording, so we tell them about the different timings. So is it easy for you to come at 2 o'clock and return home by 10 o'clock? So they have a rough idea about what timing. And there's a break between the duty hours. So how long will it be? Where will they stay? Where will they come back? So all these things are told. And the work hour pattern, how they can expect what type of duty they'll have the next week or the week after. So these things are thoroughly told. And then training in operation of equipments, for example, a scanner, how to scan the papers and how to index them, how to upload them, and taking photocopies from the photocopier, or working on a computer, or even receiving a phone call or taking phone calls. So basic manners, all these things are included in the orientation and training. Every new employee is given orientation on the leave. So how many leave days they have, how many casual leave they can get, or how many sick leave they can get. So those things are told to them. Again, the new employee is given the work pattern and timings. What are the medical benefits they are eligible, and attendance requirements. So attendance requirements would also tell about the leave and other things. And introduction to the workplace. So when they are introduced to a workplace, there is one-on-one or on-the-job training, all these things mixed together. So all these things happens there. So what is the quality that is expected? What is the quantity standard that is expected? So when I mean quantity and quality, I can give examples like filing of the records. So what is the quality? Arrange them in strict order. Or quantity, how many records do you file within this time? Or coding of the records. So quality, that will be at least 98% of flawless, correct coding. Quantity, how many records do you do within 1 hour? So that can be quality. So every work that is given, we can look at the quality and the quantity standards. So what to do when you're sick, or whom to contact on emergency, what are the department policies, all these things are told to them. So at the end of their time, the performance review is done. And even periodically, the supervisors give the feedbacks to the employees. So every new employee learns specific tasks that are measurable objectives of productivity, like, as I told you, assembling in efficiency, checking, or filing of the records, or scanning the barcoded sheets. And then there is the requirements of the on-the-job training. So you may need physical skills like operating an equipment, or moving the mobile rack, or climbing up the ladder, pull out the charts. Or you may need academic knowledge, or proofreading the records, or coding of the records. Or you may need technical skills like using the computer programs, etc. So apart from this orientation that we do in the department, there are other training programs which is offered by the staff training department. So one is the IITP, Institutional Induction Training Program, which is provided to the new recruits. So the session will include CMC's history, vision, mission, hand hygiene, BMW, waste segregation, grievance redressal, leave rules, patient rights and responsibilities, chemical radiation and fire safety, importance of blood donation, provident fund benefits, statutory requirements, internal complaints, and the list goes on. To name few, these are the examples I can tell you. So there is the previous one is induction training, which is for the new recruits. The next one is for the in-service training program, which is meant for staff who have put in a minimum of 10 years of service or more. So the session again will include the goal setting, family, biblical basis for medical mission, stewardship, integrity, leadership, etc. And then there's something called MTP, mandatory training program, which is also conducted once in 3 years for all the staff. And the questionnaire to be completed by the staff, and it is submitted at the end of the session. Apart from that, we also have the FROST, front office staff training. So this is for those who directly interact with the patient when they first arrive. So here they develop the soft skills, how to talk to them, how to have a polite eye contact, how your body language, your human dignity, hospitality, communication, the sympathy and empathy, pride. So the list goes on. Even the telephone etiquette is discussed in this staff training. So all this induction, in-service, FROST training, and mandatory training program is all given by the Department of Hospital Management Studies and Staff Training and Development. So apart from that, we have this departmental quality managers, who are the liaison officers between the quality management cell and the regular staff, the medical record staff. So their job is to get the auditing of the records done on a regular basis and send the information to the QMC for analysis, and the continuous quality improvement at various areas of the department. And also accreditation updates are done by the departmental quality managers. We also train staff from other institutions. So due to Corona, some people stopped, maybe they may start again. So we get the request mail from the hospital who want to train their staff, get to know about the medical records here. So the medical records as CMC was started way back in 1925. So it's almost 3 more years and we are going to hit 100 years. So we've got a very large medical records. So catering our service to 7,500 to 8,300 patients per day is a challenge to every medical record person. And so every staff is trained on various activities like how to talk to the people, or how to carry the records, how to file them, how to retrieve them, every activities. So many hospitals try to send their staff who put in, who are like clerical grade staff, or who would like to get them a position in the medical record. They come here and get the training. It can be 6 months, or it can be 8 months, 3 months, 1 month, depending on the need of their hospital, they send them. So usually a mail to the MS office is sent, and they scrutinize this mail and send it to the head of the Department of Medical Records. So that is the medical records ID, but you don't send any mail to medical records. You send the mail to MS office at samesvelo.ac.in, and they send the letter, forward that letter to us, and we make a plan for the person who's coming here. They get the training on all these areas, and they get back to their hospital and establish the department. So here you can see our staff working. The one on the left is looking at the inquiry where patients lose their card or forget their number and they come to us on emergency. So that has to run 24 hours. So at least one person will be there all the time. So she's looking, checking, and then we check if the person is the correct person. So they fill up the form and show identification to show that this is the person. So they check for the number and give it. And here you can see an MRO dealing with the patient. She's registering the patient. You can see those blue folders are the ones which carry scanned papers. And those stickers, you can see those are scanned barcoded papers, which goes along with the scanned papers. The doctors write it and give it back to the MROs, and they scan it then and there. Every MRO, medical record officer's counter, has a scanner and the scanning machine, and the scanning person who will scan the records immediately. So in case a person would like to see the patient and refer the person to another clinic the same day, the chart will be scanned immediately, and before the person could go to the next clinic, the chart would have been scanned for the next doctor to view it on the screen. Here you can see this one-on-one training or on-the-job training. So you have a staff there and a student looking at the monitor and learning the things. So these are the students of the BSc Medical Record Science, they're checking with the medical staff, and they're following their work here. And the end of every posting, they submit a procedure manual of what they've observed, and the seminar is given, is held, and we talk about what they observed and what they've learned. This is how these are.
Sorry to intervene, ma'am. Just a minute more to go.
Yeah, sure. I'm finishing. So you can see the medical legal, the one on the right side slide shows a staff that handling the medical legal cases. So a court case comes to them, and they see that, and they do what is necessary, and the student is observing what she's doing. So name corrections, address corrections are also done here. This is where you see the assembling of the records. So these staff are assembling the records and checking for deficiency. If there is any deficiency, there are staff who go to every ward checking and bringing the records, and they are given the numbers, and they bring back the deficient papers here. And here you can see the coding staff with the interns. They are doing the one-on-one coding, so they take the training from them, and they're coding in ICT 10 is the one what they are coding, and you can see the trainees sitting next to them, in-service interns sitting next to them. Here you can see the discharge analysis being entered, all the coding information is entered into the system. And here you can see the census and the statistics person computing the information into the system. And here you can see birth and death information entered. And there are two other people who are entering the information to the relevant corporation. This goes to the health department of every state. Here you can see a staff filing the records, IP records, retrieving the records for studies and other purposes. Here you can see the attenders after the regular duty of cleaning and mopping and other things. They prepare the records which are sent from the casualty. They remove the staples and iron manually. They iron these papers to be ready for the scanning to be done. So you can see the person who is scanning introducing the papers into the scanners and taking the scanning indexing. Here you can see a person who's doing the expired patient charts and court cases charts are scanned there. Here you can see students who are doing the coding of the records. So I just did it fast. Do you have any questions, please?